My name is Chris Lozano. I'm based out in Dallas, Texas. I cut from my garage. I go by Chris Blends on Instagram. Before joining RBM, I was making 5K a month, and after 6 months, I was able to go from 5K to 14.5K a month, making 4 to 5K a month on TikTok by posting content on social media and like Instagram and TikTok. One of the craziest things, it's I was doing it from working in my garage and cutting from my garage.
All right, boys and girls, we got one of the young killers, Chris. A lot of you guys, have been seeing his work, on TikTok, Instagram, but many of you guys don't really know like how he got to all the success. And he's gonna be breaking down exactly what he did and how he did it working with us. The results speak for itself. Like you went from 4K
Right.
to like 200K plus followers. Let's say when you started seeing the results, the followers, then you started learning how to get monetized. What was going through your mind? Like damn, like bro, I remember when I got like I went from like 4K a month and I started seeing the 10, 15, 20, 25, 27K a month. I was like, holy shit. What was the experience?
Obviously it's crazy, right? You see it from other people and you think that, or I think for myself, I didn't think I could get to that point too, where you would see people making those numbers and you're like, bro, like you're a barber, I'm a barber too. I didn't think it could happen, right? But also, like you put those systems in place and you see the outcome. Man, I think for me it's life changing, right? Essentially you're buying your time back, right? It is crazy, bro, to see the numbers and to be getting paid by TikTok and or to becoming an ambassador and doing all these different things. It's crazy, but I love it.
Like when you actually like get the right help and you're actually dedicated, most importantly, that you're gonna
Mhm.
put your 100% as well. You're capable of seeing the results like yours. I'm sure like it also even like helped you in like maybe like your relationship. I know when we first talked, when you seen the numbers go up, you had to what, propose to your girl, and then
I had just proposed.
see.
Yeah, bro. Right now we're planning the wedding, planning to get a barber shop, planning to get a house, and I'm doing it all at once. Thanks to y'all, right? Thanks to the guidance, thanks to the help, and
Damn, well, I think like especially like the beginner barbers, like a huge thing that they always say is like,
hmm,
oh, like I need to be like in a barber shop or like that like a busy street. I need to be like or in my private studio to like be more comfortable doing content. And I mean, bro, like I think this is like a very interesting like way of how you scale your business because like not many
right.
people like do it in their garage. Everybody sees it as like the starter pack.
I can buy my time back, or I can buy somebody else's time that I can learn from, right? And instead of putting the 5, 6, 7, 8 years that y'all went through, I can do it in 6 months, in a year, or even 2 years. But what is that 2 years from that 8 years, right? From all the things that y'all learned from the 8 years that y'all had and y'all put the time into.
All right, all right, boys and girls, we got one of the young killers, Chris. You know, it's a lot of you guys, have been seeing his work, on TikTok, Instagram, but many of you guys don't really know like how he got to all the success. And he's gonna be breaking down exactly what he did and how he did it working with us.
Yes, sir. So my name is Chris Lozano. I'm based out in Dallas, Texas. I cut from my garage. I go by Chris Blends on Instagram. Before joining RBM, I was making 5K a month, and after 6 months, I was able to go from 5K to 14.5K a month, making 4 to 5K a month on TikTok by posting content on social media and like Instagram and TikTok. And one of the craziest things, it's I was doing it from my garage, from working in my garage and cutting from my garage.
Damn, well, bro, like, I mean, I think like especially like the beginner barbers, like a huge thing that they always say is like,
Hmm.
oh, like I need to be like in a barber shop or like that like a busy street. I need to be like, or in my private studio to like be more comfortable doing content. And I mean, bro, like I think this is like a very interesting like, way of how you scale your business because like not many
Right.
people like do it in their garage, Everybody sees it as like the starter pack. Everybody
Yeah.
does that, because I started my garage, and
Yeah.
like a lot of people that I talk to, always in the barber like in my on the DMs or whatever,
Hmm.
like, yeah, I just started, working in my garage or I'm working in my Porsche. Like my Porsche, like, I don't think it's, I'm trying to like move to a barbershop sooner or later. So I guess for you, like, what made you want to stay in that like in the garage?
Yeah. Nah, bro. So for me, I was working like in a barbershop. I started off in a barbershop on the busiest street here in Irving, next to Dallas, off of Beltline, and it was going good, and but I feel like at the same time it was just it was stagnant. Like I was making the same income, and it was like 3 to 5K a month, and until I moved over here, and until I joined the program, I did start. That's when I started making more, because I feel like just for me, it was more of being by myself to where I felt comfortable, and to post those videos to make more content, and actually like focus and work with y'all,
Oh yeah, I mean, bro, like also one thing I always hear is like, bro,
Hmm.
people be like, oh, I just don't really want to take like just random people in my house or like, where nowhere
Yeah.
to live. I mean, was there any like how do you see that? Like, have you like be like, nah, I don't really care, or like I don't
No,
really.
yeah. So honestly, bro, I mean, I think it just comes down to you. I think it comes down to like, honestly, for me, I was the same way. For me, I was the same way. But I feel like it was all in my head. Like I was just running these scenarios in my head of like, oh, like what if this guy's weird, or what if this or that. But it's all in your head, bro. Everybody's the same, and at the end of the day, you're just building a relationship, and it's just a client and barber convos, like the same convos. But I feel like it gives you the creativeness to be in your own spot to actually like make the content that you want, and like push those videos out,
No, yeah, I mean that's definitely really understandable, and like I think that's a lot of like it's just like a barber mindset, that you have to kind of like detach from.
Hmm.
But before we even go deep and dive into your business of like exactly what you did and what strategy you used for your content and your business in order to go like from 5K a month to 14.5K a month. I mean, I want you to explain like really like what were you doing even before like cutting hair, like what were you thinking, like what like where what part in your life were you at, before you started cutting hair, or maybe like when you started like to kind of like get the passion for it, like start being interested in it.
Yeah. Nah, dude. So for me, I started cutting when I was like 15, right? So before that, I was just in school, but I had no like I guess drive to do anything. I felt like I was gonna do football until I got cut from the team, or I left the team, right? I thought I was gonna do football until I left the team. And after that, I just, I didn't know what to do. And so I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I was lost, and I really didn't know what to do before barbering. And well, thankfully, the guy from the barbershop helped me out, and actually, like, kind of grew me into that. And after that, it just became a passion to cut hair.
Yeah, I mean, like especially like right now in 2026, like the newer generations, they all want to learn how to cut hair, but
Hmm.
I feel like a lot of them see it as like the way out. Just kind of like they don't really like take purpose on it. Like they kind of just see it as like the second option,
Hmm.
uh, but they don't really want to scale. I mean, like I think for you, like you could have just been, you could have just stayed at the shop, just took in
Yeah.
walk-ins, relied on, like word of mouth, business cards, or maybe even like just be more like a average OG barber. Like, what really made you want to push, your business? Because like what was like that mindset switch that you're like, all right, like, this didn't work out for me. School like not the best. I didn't really know what I was gonna do, but like
Yeah.
now I actually want to push for my business and like actually scale past like an average barber.
Yeah. No, yeah, for me, I think it was just more of like, man, just being in the same routine just gets old. It gets tiring. And I know a lot of other barbers that are the same way, it's just the same routine, the same people, the same, talks and convos. And it's just like, um, obviously you want to do more with your life, and you want to support your family, and do the things and that you love, and buy the things that you want to for the people that you love too. And so I think it just really comes down to like just wanting more, right? And I think for me that's something that I wanted. I wanted to help others, and help my family. And I couldn't do that by just continuing to make the 4K, right? I feel like every 9 to 5 made the same as I did, and I wanted different, bro. I wanted more, and thankfully, thanks to y'all, y'all actually helped. And you know yeah.
Yeah, I mean, bro, like, was there any was there like any specific like, was there any specific point in your life and you're like, you know what, like I want to like scale because like I always hear like I want to help my parents out, I want to buy a
Mhm.
house, I want to maybe get a barber shop,
Mhm.
I want to buy that fancy car or whatever the case is, want to build a next business. But like I feel like a lot of barbers like they just say it, but they don't really do
Mhm.
it. I feel like only the 1% does the work. So
Right.
I guess for you, bro, like what made you want to actually take action? Because like, yes, we all want it, but something has to happen in order for you to actually want to take action. Like, was it like, was it your day-to-day life? Was it like your parents? Was there a specific moment, a relationship? Like, what exactly was it?
I think for me, like I always had that mindset of like if I don't do something, I know when I get older, I'm gonna wonder what if, and I never wanted to wonder that. I never wanted to get old and wonder like, man, what if I did this, or what if I took the chance, or because there was always a fear of joining programs, and I just I didn't know, right? And but I think that's where the good thing comes out of it, right? Where that fear, you get over that hunch, and after that, you can see how good the other side is, right? And thankfully, I seen it.
No, hell yeah. And I mean, bro, like one thing about you is like you've already invested into like previous programs, and like that's where like most people stop. Most people like, they join a program, a course, a mentorship, whatever they want to call it, and it was either on the coach's fault or it was on their fault that they didn't do the work or they just didn't get the best coaching that they thought they were gonna
Mhm.
get, and they just stop there and they just be like, yeah, those programs don't work. Like, what made you want to like seek out for like more help, more coaching to like keep grinding and get your like the goal that you actually wanted to work for?
Yeah. Nah, I mean, bro, like you hear all these stories of all these successful people, right? And like you want to be like them and you want to have the things that they have, right? But all those successful people have mentors, have coaches, have people that get help. They get helped by, and it's like what makes us different, right? So it's like why not seek that help and why not go that extra mile, right? After you've already joined other programs, why not get from various people, more information from various people, and more, I guess, like education, right? Because I think everybody has something to give, right? And you can learn from different people, because everybody has something different that you'll learn from, something different to give.
No, yeah, I mean, bro, like, I mean, even myself, I still even have mentors, I have multiple mentors.
Yeah, there you go.
I definitely agree with that. Like it's really important to always like learn from different perspective, different eyes, no matter if like you feel like something didn't work out. Because like I feel like everybody has a different perspective to every component. And
Right.
I mean, I guess for you, but like what since you did invest into the other programs and you didn't really see the best result that you were looking for. I mean, like how would you say like me and Tristan were like different in our program to like actually help you get to the results?
Right. No, I think for y'all, bro, what helped me from y'all was that y'all are super relatable, right? Like, bro, we all come from Mexican backgrounds, Latino backgrounds, and like it's just it's y'all are relatable, bro. Y'all help us out because y'all can relate, and y'all know our stories because y'all had like the same similar stories, right? And like the past, like there wasn't that connection there. I think with y'all, you actually it feels like you actually care.
No, yeah, and the most important, like I remember like you were kind of just doing whatever, you were kind of just when you started, like you were just doing whatever thing, like connotations, like before and afters, tutorials,
Yeah.
like with no sense of direction, trying to do everything at once, and
Yeah.
that's what a lot of barbers want to do. Like I see their content, I see their goals, and they all want to get new clients, they want to build a brand, learn how to get monetized, want to raise their prices. It's like, bro, like you cannot do everything at once, and that's something that it's a hard reality that a lot of people don't want to take and they learn it the hard way. And I remember
Right.
I told you like, bro, like we gotta do like one system. Like, what's the goal right here? I want to build a brand. You were at 4K followers, and I remember it was like, yo, we're gonna do the system. Tutorials, but not just tutorials, because this is a thing that like a lot of barbers do. Like they try to copy like what they see, but they don't really like know what's the whole thing behind like step by step of what's done with any type of content. Like they just try to copy like and like I can just copy and do it on my own. And then they wonder why
Right.
like they're not getting the results 3, 4
Yeah.
months after, and then they stop posting content, and they're like, nah, this doesn't work for me.
Yeah, no, I think for me, right, like I was trying all those different things, and like some worked, some didn't, but I think, y'all helped me find the actual like the path, right? And like you said, you can try and copy, but it's just like, man, there's just these different components that go into it, right? The camera has to be in a certain angle, the background has to be nice, clear, the ambience of the light, right? And also the ASMR, like you have to have these certain things for a video to click, right? And y'all have that different system for the tutorials, y'all have the different system for consultations, for voiceovers, for different videos, right? And I think that's where y'all kind of separate yourselves from others.
No, yeah, I mean that's kind of like what I feel like that's how it should be.
Mm.
Like everything that is done. with their systems has a reason and has a purpose of why it's done, not just kind of like guessing or trying to copy somebody else. And I mean, bro, like the results speak for itself. Like you went from 4K
Right.
to like 200K plus followers. And I mean, like when you started seeing like I guess for you, like let's say when you started seeing the results, the followers, then you started learning how to get monetized. Like what was going through your mind? Like damn, like what? Like, cause I mean, bro, I remember when I got like I went from like 4K a month and then started seeing the 10, 15, 20, 25, 27K a month. I was like, holy shit. So
Yeah.
like, what was the experience?
Dude, it's different, right? I think it's a different like mentality, and you have to I think that's another thing too, right? You have to switch that mentality from like that barber perspective to like something like of a entrepreneur, like just like it's a different mindset, right? But for me, dude, it gave me freedom, right? Because like man, for me, going back in the barbershop, right? Man, you were there the whole day. We were there the whole day, and the same people, same routine, right? And it's just like it's different, right? Because now you have the time, you have the weekends off, you have certain days that you want off, and you get to spend the time with your family, and it's just good, man. It's a good life, bro. Like obviously it's crazy, right? You see it from other people, and you think that, or I think for myself, I didn't think I could get to that point too. Where, you would see people making those numbers, and you're like, bro, like you're a barber, I'm a barber too. I didn't think it could happen, right? But also, like you put those systems in place, you see the outcome, and man, I think for me it's life changing, right? It's life changing in the way of like you get to do the things that you want with your family. You have the time back. You essentially you're buying your time back, right? And it is crazy, bro, to see the numbers and to be getting paid by TikTok and get the ambassadors and or to becoming an ambassador and doing all these different things. It's crazy, but I love it.
Hell yeah. I mean, bro, like, and I mean, I definitely think that, you know, like when you actually like get the right help and you're actually dedicated, most importantly, that you're gonna
Mhm.
put, your 100% as well. You're capable of seeing the results like yours. And I
Yeah.
mean, like, I'm sure like it also even like helped you in like maybe like your relationship. You know, I know when we first talked, when you seen the numbers go up, you had to what, propose to your girl?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
I had just proposed.
yeah, he's saying me like, yeah, I was actually proposing to my girl. Like I was able to propose to my girl, which now I'm actually planning the marriage. Okay. See.
Yeah, bro. Right now we're planning the wedding, planning to get a barbershop, planning to get a house, and for a lot of people, I feel like that's scary, right? And that was like it's three huge like I guess like stepping stones, right? Like, and I'm doing it all at once, thanks to y'all, right? Thanks to the guidance, thanks to the help, and thanks to y'all, right? Again.
Oh hell yeah. Shit. Bro, that's like the barber dream. Uh
Yeah, bro.
getting the barber job, getting married, having the house or the nice car. Like everybody proportions, their own goals and their own like picture to,
Right.
their own capability. But everything is
Mhm.
capable when you know the right systems. And I've been thinking something that was super interesting that you said earlier. You were like, like average barber, has like the same routine. Going to the shop, they just wait there. Either they cut or they just, spin the chair around. Or like I remember something that when I was in that experience too. Like I would walk in, and let's say I didn't have no clients. I would just ask my client. I would ask my coworkers, "Yo, how many you got today?" They're like, "Oh, I just got one right now, and then I got a break, and then I got two more." And it was, bro, like I was asking that question every single day, like wasting my time.
Yeah.
That's when like realized when I was like, bro, like I cannot be living this barber like because my parents are Mexican. My
Mhm.
parents are Mexican. The Mexican dream. I'm the first generation. Is like go to school. Like I want you to go to school, graduate. Go to college, get a degree or find a job. And I was good in school, but I was like, if I know that I don't want to go to school after college, like after high school, like I don't want to go to college. Like if I knew that I did not want to go to college after high school and I was gonna pursue the barbering, I was like, bro, like why not go all in and actually like do
Mhm.
something out of this? Like my parents did not just fucking like, crossing borders, like, because that's like essentially that's
Yeah.
our parents literally risked their whole life just for us to just be a fucking average barber. Like, bro, what?
Yeah, no, and bro, like you said, right? They took risks, right? And like, bro, that's scary, dude. Like, imagine how scary, the feelings that they're going through, right? But also too, right? How can we put that, into our lives, right? How can we put that risk mentality into our lives? And that's by taking our risk and taking the chances on the things that we want that we're not that we're unsure of, right?
It just crazy to me, like, like I was like, bro, like I'm not gonna let that happen. Like how did my parents take all this risk without knowing no destination, and I'm just gonna settle to be a average barber? It's like, bro, like we're
Yeah,
young barbers, we got nothing to lose. Like I was like, why not risk it all? Like I'm still like young, like if I fail, like what's gonna happen? I could always start with something else. So that's how I was like, like I'm gonna go all in, and I was really dedicated. I mean, bro, like I was able to see the results. Now you as well, like you're able to see the results. You got proposed, now you're getting married. You got a house. That's a fucking good W. Like I'm
Mhm.
not like that's something good. And I mean now like you're planning to hopefully open up a barbershop.
Yes, sir.
Now, obviously we see the results. I think I think something this is like a really important like this is super important that we don't have to brag about. When like when a program mentorship, whatever they want to call it, is good. I think like not the owners, like not like my results are the ones that speak, but I feel like the ones that speak are like student results. Like yes, I was able to do it, but can I be able to help other barbers do it? And I mean, bro, like you're just one of the few. Like you, Jose, Josue, Juan Carlos, Frankie, Nando, Alex, Sean. Like, bro, there's so many of those clients that generated so many new clients. They got into 10, 15K months, generated money on TikTok, and like I feel like that should like if that doesn't tell you that this is a good program, this is a good system, and I don't know what other barbers like think about then. But I guess for you, like before the success, was there any like limiting belief that you believe like yo, like I don't think this might work out for me?
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. And then just going back to like not knowing, right? I feel like for me, I just thought everything was a scam. I thought, like I don't know, man. I just didn't know. At first, I'm gonna be honest. At first, I thought you know, everything was just scams. Every single thing was just scams. But like obviously you have to do your research and we get the consultation at first and see what y'all tell us what it's really about. And then after, when y'all put the system in place, specifically for us, that just tells you all you need to know, right? When y'all cater to us and y'all help us, uh the results speak for themselves and you get the results that you want. But yeah, for sure, I was super scared. I thought everything was a scam, bro. But thank God it's not. And we're real people, right? Like, I have the same life as all a lot of other people, and I had the same life as a lot of other barbers, but that can change, right?
No, hell yeah. I mean, I remember like, when you joined, like you were ready, like you were ready, And like that's something that was different from you, like you already joined other programs, I think multiple programs, that didn't work out, but yet you still like seeked out for other coaching. And you weren't like I gotta think about it, or like you were willing to do anything it took to
Yeah,
actually like take action and get the help. I remember when you joined, like, bro, what, like, bro, just just tell me how it is and I'll join.
yeah,
That. So like yeah, like I think that's also like a really huge switch as well. Like the mindset, like a lot of barbers think it's just about the fades, tapers, lineups, videos. No, like I think 70% of it's just mindset, like the mindset switch.
nah, dude. I think for me, what the mindset that I had before to now, I think what changed was that I kind of figured, or I had this thought process of like, okay, I know y'all are successful and y'all did all the things that I wanted to do. I seen what y'all did, and those are the same things that I wanted to do, right? And I kind of seen it as like, okay, like I can buy my time back, or I can buy somebody else's time that I can learn from, right? If that makes sense, like
Yeah.
in a sense, y'all went through something and all these things and all these chapters, right? And I was like, okay, like how can I learn the same thing but without doing the same steps and everything that y'all did, right? and that's kind of like buying your time, right? And instead of putting the 5, 6, 7, 8 years that y'all went through, I can do it in 6 months, in a year, or even 2 years. But what is that 2 years from that 8 years, right? From all the eight, from all the things that y'all learned from the 8 years that y'all had and y'all put the time into. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, bro, I just think I learned it in 6 months from all the things that y'all showed me, right?
no, yeah, I mean, like essentially that's kind of like that's a really huge like a really huge point because like the whole point is to buy your time back, you know? Like right now time is speed, you know, like everything's speed right now. Like it's how fast you can do it, you know, how young you can do it. Because we don't all like a lot of us say like this is a huge one like that I always hear like bars like, oh, like I don't want to be I don't want to be cutting here 20 years plus, like like my coworker I see in the barbershop. But then I see, their Instagram, I see their TikTok, I see the stories. They're not posting content. They're posting maybe like once a month. They're out
Hmm.
here smoking, drinking, like doing stupid shit. And it's like that's the whole thing. People don't want to like people want change, but they're not willing to leave things that, affect them day to day. And that's the whole like that's a huge that's a huge point that a lot
Hmm.
of artists don't understand. It's not just about the content, but it's about things that you're willing to like sacrifice and like step back from to actually, move forward.
Yeah, dude. No, I think a lot of people, try to look outwards, right? But I think it starts, inside, right? It starts with like, all right, how do I set yourself up for like the best result, right? How do you set yourself up for, the best, outcome? And that starts within, right? That starts with like changing the little things, and then eventually comes to the big things. And um, yeah, like you said, bro, like, a lot of people do want change, but they don't start, right? And they're scared and they're stagnant, they're complacent, but it starts with that first step. And I think that first step is, starting with y'all, right?
No, yeah, I mean, like, and like the thing is, like, just starting, like just starting, like if you don't really want, like, if you still have like a super fucking high ego or like, your guard is all the way up, bro, just post content, like, just post something, like, don't just like keep waiting on the sidelines and looking, oh, oh, this is like one thing that has been happening a lot right now with
Mhm.
barbers. It's like, like like let's say it's a group of two friends, one of them takes a leap of faith, actually like invest into themselves, and then one stays looking at him just through his whole journey, and the one that took the leap of faith actually like goes up, and then the second one's like, all right, then I'll invest because they want to wait for that security, and it's like, bro,
Yeah.
you could have been there as well,
Yep.
but because you wanted to wait, I mean, bro, like this is how long it took you, and like now you have to wait. It's like, bro, like you have to start now, Like I think that's like a huge thing. And I mean, to end it off, like I mean, like let's say if somebody wanted to like join the program, or they're kind of like thinking of like maybe or a little bit interested in like okay, like maybe I think this is gonna help me, or I'm really interested, I want to learn. Like, what would you tell them to like to kind of like pass that, I guess doubt or fear or scarcity?
Yeah. No, I think honestly, I was in the same position, right? Like I think we're all wanting to grow, we're all wanting to do certain things that we want to do in our lives. And I think it starts with change, and it starts with like, putting that your foot forward. And I really do think that either just putting your ego aside and wanting to like be a student again. I think that helps so much, right? And how do you do that? You do that by getting a teacher, by getting a mentor, by getting a coach, or all three in one, right? Like y'all are to me. And man, if you want to change, man, like look for the people that have already done it, and try to learn from them, right? um and I think that's your best option, right? It's either just putting your ego aside, or use that ego and post those videos, right? Or do the certain things that you need to do to in order to know to be successful, right? And like, by seeking that help, like, man, for me, I was making the 5K, that it changed my life to be able to make 14K, 10K plus months every month. And, from getting paid, while you sleep, right? On TikTok, on Instagram, on TikTok, I was just making I wasn't even making money on TikTok. I had like 4,000 followers to now I think it's over like 250K followers, and I'm making money off of every video now up to like 4,000, 5,000 a video, and it's crazy.
No, yeah. I mean, but you guys, I think if it doesn't wake you up to like start taking action, then I don't know what is. But that's just for Chris. His story, his background of what happened. Before those 14K months, before those 4.5K out payouts on TikTok. Before the following is like, I think you guys see the pattern that it's all gonna be the mindset switch, and actually like trying to not trying, but like actually deciding to like step forward, take a step front to choose yourself and choose your business.